Hello, good afternoon. So be coach and be transformed. Welcome to Life Coaching Access, your daily access with professional certified life coaches brought to you by Life Coach Philippines. Life Coach Philippines is our community of professional life coaches certified by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, a bona fide institute for mental health that is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And Life Coaching Access is our service to the community here in Life Coach Philippines, and we aim to help everyone experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. So if you want to know more about our international coaching classes and services, please connect with Coach Rizel at 0917-586-1661 for assistance. And I am Master Coach Hasmin for Self-Innovation Hacks, and we are now into our new series entitled Path to Self-Mastery. And your access with me every day, every Sunday is 4 p.m. So for my segment today, let's talk about our new series, okay, Path to Self-Mastery. And we are now on our episode 19. It is entitled as The Power of Vulnerability. So we are last season, okay, our segment talks about self-innovation hacks, unlocking your leadership potential, and now we're looking into ourselves already, okay? So we are journeying toward our to the path to self mastery. So for all of you who have just joined me or joined me for the first time, I would like to introduce myself. I am Master Coach Hasmin, professional life coach certified by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneur with coaching focus, okay, on personal growth through self-innovation. And I am a pastor's wife. I have two kids, okay. I am also a registered medical technologist, and I used to work in the hospital for more than for a decade. And after that, I transitioned into a new career, into a different industry, into a healthcare industry, and I am now a marketing executive. But I am in calling, okay, in purpose, I am called to become a life coach. So as a life coach, I do conduct professional and personal coaching, one-on-one group coaching, workshop, webinars, including master classes. So if there's anything that you need in terms of coaching, life coaching, okay, please do email me at hasminmiroy@gmail.com, or you can message me at 0918-944-7841, or you can DM me in my Facebook account as Hasmin Miroy, or Facebook page as Coach Hasmin. And we would like to welcome each and everyone who are joining us right now. Si Coach Tin, Coach Nilo, thank you for joining. Coach Glacy, The Power of Vulnerability. Yes, this is very exciting. Okay, and join me today. Okay, so tag your friends right now, share this into your timeline, share this into your Facebook group. I believe that this is something that we all need to talk about. Let's all be vulnerable this afternoon, and let's talk about vulnerability, the power of vulnerability. But before that, I encourage you to share your hashtag Pack My Bag moment as we go through. Normally, this session lasts for 30 minutes, okay? 30 to 35 minutes. And if there's anything in that period, okay, that period of 35 minutes, mayroon kang aha moments, mayroon kang nuggets of wisdom, please do share it in your timeline and be a blessing to someone today. We have heard a lot of testimonies na yung mga joining us here, yung mga viewers natin dito sa Life Coaching Access, they do share their timeline, in their timeline, yung kanilang mga aha moments, yung kanilang nugget of wisdom, and they put the hashtag Pack My Bag moment and Life Coaching Access. They are able to bless a lot of people. Merong mga tao na who are in that situation, and when they read the aha moment, your nuggets of this wisdom, you were able to inspire them, di ba? What a blessing, okay? Be a blessing this afternoon by sharing your hashtag Pack My Bag moment. At yung hashtag Pack My Bag moment is something that is from Master Coach A, di ba? So this is our aha moment. So it means that you can when you go to the seminars or go to the conventions or any educational activities, events that you have attended, at pag meron ka nang nakuha kahit isa lang na nuggets of wisdom, you are ready to go, di ba? But today, this afternoon, please stay until the end of our discussion. So because we are entering into our new series And let's talk about self-mastery, okay? The path to self-mastery. So to give you an overview of our series for this month of February, okay, um, self-mastery is the process of knowing yourself, creating yourself, growing yourself, improving yourself, and maintaining yourself. So something that would really be focusing on this month of February is more on ourselves, because oftentimes, di ba, um, um, it is us who really sabotage, okay? It is us who normally sabotage our success, who limits our potentials, okay? Who limits ourselves to become the person that we want to be. That's why I also choose and I prayed for this topic for this month. Ano ba talagang magiging direction natin ngayong month na ito, okay? About here in self-innovation hacks. What is it that we need to self-innovate in us? And that is the self-mastery, okay? Knowing yourself, knowing who you really are, okay? What are your vision, what is your why, di ba? So it really helps to really go back again to ourself bago pa tayo maging busy, di ba? This is just the second month of the year, bago pa natin ma-encounter ang mga challenges o mga bagay-bagay until the end of 2021. So it's a good thing that we prepare ourselves and we master ourselves, di ba? According to Lao Tzu, sabi niya dito, mastering others is strength. Okay, last series natin, we master that leadership skills on how to really help the people in our community, under our leadership. But sabi niya, mastering yourself is true power. Ayan, di ba? So we are excited to that, di ba? So mastering others is strength, yes, but mastering ourselves is true power. And that is something that we all really need to unlock, okay, to unlock our potential to become the best version of ourselves. This 2021 is for us to be able to master ourselves and find that true power within us. We don't have to look at it to other people. We don't have to look at its environment natin, because that true power is within you. So we just have to unlock it, okay? Self-mastery, okay, it starts with self-awareness, okay? Being aware that there's something that you need to change in your life, okay? There is something that you need to change to yourself, okay? Next level, okay, in the pyramid is the self-exploration. After you become aware of the things that needs to be changed in your life, meron kang self-exploration. So you look into your thoughts now, you look into your feelings, you look into your emotions. So that's self-exploration. After you have explored that, okay, you move to the next level, which is self-understanding. In self-understanding, you know what you do and you know why you do it. Okay? And I congratulate you kung nandito ka na dito sa level ng self-understanding, di ba? And after self-understanding level, okay, you move to that self-love level wherein you are being compassionate and accepting yourself already. Di ba? Iba-iba pala yung stages na yan. You cannot really go to self-love agad, di ba? If you are not able to go through the self-awareness, self-exploration, and self-understanding. And after self-love, self-transformation. And that's what we are all excited about. We are all here, di ba? We do life coaching access to really to experience yung transformation. So it embody your inner true self. And that is our journey for this month of February. So self-mastery, okay? Master the ego self. So isn't it exciting? So type in the chat box if you are excited to our new series this month, okay? The path to self-mastery. So hello, Leonard. Thank you for joining us. And Coach Mao, thank you for joining. So please do tag a friend in the chat box right now. Invite nyo sila and let's all journey to our self-mastery. And according to this one, sabi niya dito, one achieves mastery, okay, self-mastery, when they can consistently produce desired results. And we all want that, right? We have written our goals, okay? We have joined the vision and goal challenge, di ba? And all we want really, okay, di ba, kaya tayo talagang ginagawa natin yung challenge, because all we want is to really produce the desired result for this year, di ba? Pangalawa, when you are able to master yourself, you get the best out of themselves, di ba? You get the best out of you. You get the best out of your relationships. You get the best out of your career, your family, and everything that you do, you get the best out of it, di ba? And next is you can effectively con- control themselves. When you are able to have a self mastery, you are in control. And it is not your emotion, it is not your thought that is in control, but you are in control. And once you achieve that self mastery, you will be able to master a craft. Is it life coaching? Whatever that you do, okay? Is it your job right now? Is it your role, okay? Right now, whatever it is, you will be able to master a craft when you are able to have a self mastery. So first, okay, our first topic for this segment, path to self mastery, is let's talk about vulnerability. Okay, whether we like it or not, we will be encountering this word. Okay, we all need to be vulnerable. It's just ahead, di ba? So if you can see here in the picture, di ba, nandyan lang talaga siya. And it will always be part of our journey. We have to really be vulnerable. So pag-usapan natin ngayong hapon na to, okay, let's understand the power of vulnerability. Okay? So first, let's look at how the dictionary define vulnerable. Okay? Sabi niya dito, vulnerable means susceptible to physical or emotional attack to harm. Okay? So ibig sabihin wala yung ano ka, you are not protected. You're susceptible to physical or emotional harm or attack, okay? Sometimes you can be helpless, defenseless, powerless, impotent, weak, and susceptible. So that is the picture of vulnerable in the dictionary, okay? And others, okay, it is defined as in need of special care, support, or protection because of age, disability, at risk, abuse, or neglect. But this afternoon, okay, this is just an overview of the definition of vulnerability or vulnerable in the dictionary. But let's talk about, okay, let's look at the other side of vulnerability on how it will help us. Okay, so thank you for watching, Jeff, and si Coach Tin and si Coach Jonathan from Bicol. Okay, so let's define, okay, vulnerability, the power of vulnerability. So what we are going to talk about is more came from how does Brene Brown, so in her book Daring Greatly, how did she define vulnerability? Okay, sabi niya dito, vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It's that unstable feeling we get when we step out of our comfort zone or we do something that forces us to loosen control. And all of us, okay, and that includes me, I love control. Okay, so I love to be in the comfort zone. I love to really hide from myself, to really go really just hide within me. Okay, may mga maraming beses na I would just choose to keep quiet than to say something, because I wanted to really be in control of what other people will say to me. I don't want to really be yung mga tao to really say something about you, to judge what you say, diba? So I believe that this is something that we all need to look into, yung the power, that there is power in vulnerability. So it forces us, okay, vulnerability, according to Brene Brown, it is uncertainty, it is risk, and emotional exposure. Diba? Yun yung hearing just the word emotional exposure, diba? Nakakatakot na kaagad. So like now, di ba, medyo napawisan ako doon, di ba? Sinabi ko lang yung emotional exposure and see how my body reacts and my brain reacts into that word emotional exposure, because oftentimes we don't want to really say how we feel. We don't really want to say how we think, what is in our thought, di ba? Because we're afraid that people will judge us, right? So, paki-type po sa chat box, okay? If you are able to relate in what I am telling you about vulnerability. And another thing that Brene Brown said in her book, okay, sabi niya, vulnerability is not winning or losing, okay? It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. So vulnerability is not weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage. And a lot of people, that includes me, I always think that being vulnerable is weakness. But when I came into this profession, I've learned that, and I've realized that vulnerability is actually not weakness. Vulnerability is being able to show up for yourself, being able to be authentic, okay? Showing up to be an authentic person. So that is vulnerability. It is not weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage. So we will go through that more as we proceed. Okay. Next, in her book, she said that in our culture, we associate vulnerability with emotions we want to avoid, such as fear, shame, and uncertainty. Yet we too often lose sight of the fact that vulnerability is also the birthplace of joy, belonging, creativity, authenticity, and love. This is something that I have realized, okay? So, akala ko dati, okay, being vulnerable is just ayun, yung impact lang ng vulnerability sa iyo, yung ibibigay lang ng vulnerability sa iyo is fear, shame, out of control, and uncertainty. But little did we know, I know that when you become vulnerable, okay, it is the birthplace of joy. When you are no longer afraid of to show who you are, diba? So you will be more happy, you will be expressive, diba? So shout out to Coach Tricia of Bicol na self-expression, diba? We have watched her do the interview doon sa radio station in Bicol, and she really made an impact to the people when she really expressed herself, when she really started to embrace herself, her flaws, her strength, her weakness, and started sharing it and be vulnerable in expressing herself. And was able to really create a good impact to people, because there's a lot of people out there who are not able to express themselves, and because they are afraid of being vulnerable. And being vulnerable, sabi ni Brene Brown, is the birthplace of joy, of belonging. Belonging because people will love you for who you are. And if people cannot accept you for who you are, when you become vulnerable, then it means that they are not the right people to be part of your circle, to be part of your life. Diba? It's would you rather be in a crowd or in a community na you are just trying to please them, or you are just not trying to be yourself because you don't want them to 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 push you away, 'di ba? So, hindi, 'di ba? So we would rather be kahit konti lang 'yan, kahit konti lang yung magiging kaibigan mo that would really accept you and not tolerate you. But that will give you joy, that will give you peace that is even more rewarding. Okay, so vulnerability is the birthplace of authenticity. You can be yourself, you can be you. Okay, and there will be times that you will not be okay, but it's okay, diba? So you're just being yourself, and it is also the birthplace of love. Ayan, so I will be reading few of the comments. Thank you for sharing. Okay, vulnerability is the birthplace of joy. Tama yan, Coach Amao. And processing vulnerability, more easy to say, but often hard to be. I understand, Jeff. So we are all in this journey together. Yan. So that's why we go through. Okay, please stay put, Jeff. And let's go through the journey, and I will be sharing to you how can we really be vulnerable, and how can we be a responsible, vulnerable person as we proceed with the slide. In her book, Brene Brown did a research, okay, did a lot of interviews to people. Nag-interview siya ng madaming tao, and she asked people this one: vulnerability is blank. In fact, you can also type in the chat box para sa'yo, what is vulnerability? Okay? First thing comes to mind, okay, what is vulnerability to you? So you can type it in the chat box right now, okay? So in her book, sabi ng mga tao na na-survey niya, okay, she interviewed, sabi nila, vulnerability is sharing an unpopular opinion. Diba? So have you ever experienced that you don't want to share because pakiramdam mo hindi naman popular yung opinion mo, 'di ba? Para sa kanila, sharing an unpopular opinion is vulnerability. Next is standing up for myself is vulnerability. How many times in our life that we just choose to be quiet, we just choose to be to go with the flow because we don't want to be vulnerable. Okay? Hello, Coach Ed. Thank you for joining us. Okay, asking for help for vulnerability is asking for help. Okay? So when we ask for help, we put down everything, 'di ba? Yung ating kaya ko naman 'to, 'di ba? So pero sa totoo kailangan mo talaga ng tulong. That is vulnerability. Vulnerability is saying no. Okay? A lot of people just say yes and yes and yes, even they can no longer do it, di ba? But vulnerability is saying no. Vulnerability is starting my own business. How many times, okay, that we really wanted to do this, di ba? Gusto talaga nating maging entrepreneur, but we are so afraid, we are so fearful of our capabilities, of what we can do, di ba? So, but vulnerability is starting my own business. Vulnerability is helping my wife, 'di ba? Or my yung wife mo, 'di ba? This goes to the men, 'di ba? So minsan ayaw nilang tulungan yung mga misis nila because they are afraid na sabihin sa kanila, "Uy, ano 'yan? Control the misis," 'di ba? So vulnerability is helping my wife. Vulnerability is the first date after my divorce. Vulnerability is saying I love you first, not knowing if I am going to be loved back. How many of us withheld that love to a lot of people, even to our friends, because we are so afraid that we will not be loved back? Vulnerability is saying I love you without expecting that person to love you. Diba? Next is, vulnerability is writing something I wrote or a piece of art that I made and you posted it, 'di ba? At ipinakita mo siya sa mga tao, 'di ba? A lot of times because we're so afraid to be vulnerable, yung mga talent natin, yung mga crafts natin, yung mga creations natin, we just choose to keep it in ourselves. And kung minsan hindi mo lang siya kinip, hindi mo na din talaga siya ginawa. So many of you here, probably you are very good at art, you are very good in creating, in writing, diba? But you are afraid, okay, to share it to the people, that people may judge it, diba? People may not like it, you just kept it for yourself. But according to this one, to this survey, sabi niya, vulnerability is writing I wrote or a piece of art that I have made and showed it to the people, right? Vulnerability is getting promoted and not knowing if I am going to succeed. Oftentimes, when we are promoted, we don't ask for help because we are afraid na nasasabihin nila, ay, na-promote ka nga eh, so bakit hindi mo alam yung gagawin mo? Diba? So that is vulnerability because that's uncertainty. Diba? So we must accept that, yeah, we got promoted, but there is that fear of you don't know what to do, acknowledging that there is fear in you if you will succeed or not. Vulnerability is getting fired, and it's okay, right? And vulnerability is falling in love. A lot of people, may mga kakilala ko, because they were hurt in the past, they refuse to really open themselves to fall in love again. Vulnerability, sabi natin kanina, is risk, di ba? It is something that we are outside our comfort zone, and that includes falling in love, di ba? Para sa mga singles out there now, we are in February, di ba? So vulnerability is inside out. We have to be very honest about ourselves. That's right, Coach Ed, tama. And vulnerability, according to the survey pa, is okay. According to the survey, is trying something new. Okay, it's okay to try something new, di ba? All of us started from new things, including like what we do here in Life Coaching Access. If only you knew kung gaano kami kakabado, kung gaano kami katakot in going through here in Life Coaching Access, di ba? So that is vulnerability. But we made it through. Okay, we are now on episode 19, di ba? So, and it just gets better and better for each and every of the coaches serving the community. Vulnerability is exercising in public, especially Even when you don't know what you are doing. But you just go there, di ba? Ano ka talaga, nag-exercise ka lang, nag-zumba ka lang. Eh, gusto mo yun eh, di ba? Next is admitting that you are afraid. Okay? It's okay to be fearful. It is part of the emotions and we just need to acknowledge it and do not really suppress that emotion. It's telling my boss that we won't make payroll next month. Diba? Vulnerability is laying off employees, presenting your product to the world, and getting no response. So for all the business people out there, for all the coaches out there, diba, who is making proposals, but the people that the people are not saying yes to it, it's okay, diba? Just continue to present your product, diba? Even if they did not respond, diba? Continue to show up every day in your Facebook page, in your Facebook group, diba? Even if no one responds, that is vulnerability. Next is standing up for myself and for friends when someone else is critical or gossiping. That is vulnerability. Standing up for the people that you love. Being accountable, that is vulnerability. In spite of you are afraid of the result, the consequence, being accountable is vulnerability. Asking for forgiveness to the people that you have wronged, okay, is vulnerability. And having faith is vulnerability because we know that without God, we can do nothing. So that is the picture of vulnerability. So these are real definition of vulnerability na survey, okay, when Brené Brown wrote her book. Ito yung mga na-survey niya na mga tao. This is how they describe vulnerability. In fact, it's even a long list, okay? So you can type in the chat box for you, what is vulnerability to you? When is the time that you can say that you are vulnerable? For me, I can say that sharing my life experience is vulnerability. Because sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, I normally don't share, especially personal things about my life. For me, that is vulnerability. And yesterday, we had a public speaking workshop, and we've talked about that our story itself is in fact very powerful. Our life story, okay, is something that would really help people going through what we have gone through before, and makikita nila that there is hope, that there is inspiration, diba? Our story is inspiration, so don't keep it to yourself. So let's be vulnerable and start sharing our story. So how do we, okay, before that, before I tell you how to be vulnerable responsibly, okay, the things that I have mentioned earlier. So do this sound like weakness? Okay, yung mga binasa ko kanina, yung mga sagot ng tao on what is vulnerability, how does it sound to you? Does it sound like a weakness? Does showing up to be with someone in deep struggle sound like a weakness to you? Is accepting accountability for you weak? The answer is no. Diba? Vulnerability sounds like truth, but it feels like courage. Truth and courage is not always comfortable, right? Hindi siya komportable when you know the truth, when you've discovered the truth, okay? And when you act on courage, di ba? Sabi nga nila, courage is fear, di ba? Fear, but you are taking action, okay? But these things are not actually weakness. Showing up for yourself, being in the truth, and being courageous to really take action is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it is a sign of strength. When you choose to try something new and accept that you will commit mistake, but instead you still do it, that is courage. That is not weakness, right? When you acknowledge that you are fearful, but you still choose to show up, okay, that is courage. That is not a weakness. When you admit that you are wrong and take full responsibility of your action, it is not weakness. It is courage. So this afternoon, how do we become vulnerable? Because there is power, okay? There is power in vulnerability. So see, just like my slide, there is power of vulnerability, di ba? So mali yung grammar niya, but okay, but this afternoon, we're not about perfection, okay? So it's okay na hindi siya perfect ating slides ngayon, but it does not affect our topic for today, how to be vulnerable, because there is power in vulnerability. Okay? Yes, tama ka dyan, Jeff. Sharing this, sarap maging vulnerable. Exactly. Because, yeah, di ba? Because you're showing your true self. Eh. You're not afraid to show to the people, okay, who you are. And if they don't accept you, then they don't, right? And if people accept you for who you are, then they are really the people that who would really support you, love you, and go with you through the journey. Okay? So 5 things. Okay, 5 things. Number 1, how to be vulnerable. Don't hide your emotions. Yan. So it's important, okay, that we don't hide our emotions. To me, I am a master of this one. I can really hide my emotions. Ayan. So being vulnerable is not hiding our emotion. Let's not run away from it. Okay? How this causes pain, no matter how painful it is, no matter how stressful it is. Okay? Do not hide your emotion because it is very incredibly detrimental to our health, 'di ba? Ang kaya nga, 'di ba, madaming mga tao, okay, I used to work in Philippine Heart Center as a medical technologist. Doon, dami na operahan doon every day, open heart surgery. And a lot of those people because they've kept their emotion, 'di ba? And it affects our health. Yung heart natin hindi siya nagpa-function well, the blood flow cannot really flow inside our body. We are stressed, 'di ba? Parati kang galit, you are anxious, you are fearful, you are angry. Just imagine those feeling, di ba? Those chemical imbalance in your body. Okay? Na nagtatrabaho sa katawan mo if you don't release that emotion. So don't hide your emotion. Acknowledge it, okay? So what are you feeling? So these are the steps, okay? I'll be sharing you a few questions, a few steps on how you are going to acknowledge your emotion. So describe, okay, today, okay, for example, you feel upset, okay? You feel upset with your boss, you feel upset with your wife, your children, or your husband. What are you feeling? Okay, don't just wag mo lang siyang i-deny, wag mo lang siyang i-suppress, okay? Go into a quiet place and have a reflection, process your thoughts, process your feelings, and understand what is it you're feeling. Naiinis ka ba? Di ba? Napipikon ka ba? Okay? Describe it. Describe what you feel. And then after that, you are able to name it. Okay? Next thing that you need to do is understand why are you feeling that way? Bakit mo nararamdaman yun? 'Di ba? Bakit ka napikon? For example, okay, bakit ka napikon doon sa office mate mo nung nag-joke siya? Okay? Understand why are you feeling that way? It could be probably you have something in the past, okay, na trigger nung joke na yon, 'di ba? Kaya ka napikon, 'di ba? So, understand why are you feeling that way? Because when you are able to understand it, okay, identify it, you will be able to come up with a solution. Okay? Next is, what is the feeling trying to tell you? Is there something that needs to be closed in your life? Okay? May mga tao ba talaga tayong dapat patawarin sa buhay natin? May mga tao ba tayong mga kailangan bigyan ng closure in our life? Okay? So those are just an example. Next is, how do you want to feel in this situation? Okay, given that you were hurt, okay, given na napikon ka, given na nasaktan ka, okay, nandyan na yan, okay, how do you want to feel in this situation? Of course, gusto mo, di ba, mawala yung pakiramdam na yun. Gusto mo maging magaan yung pakiramdam mo, di ba? So describe it, okay? Don't just stay on that emotion, okay? Describe how do you want to feel right now in this situation. And after that, if you want to feel better, what do you need to do in order to feel that way? Diba? So you can start taking action. Probably, sige, I'll talk to that person. I'll tell to that person, I got offended. Diba? And talk it out to the person. If that is something that you know that will make you feel better. Okay? So these are an example of how you will be able to process your emotion. Don't just hide it because that is really very detrimental to your physical health and to your mental health. Okay? So what you can't say owns you, but what you hide controls you. So once you hide that emotion is going to control your life. And it's not going to be good for yourself, for your mental health, and to the people around you. If anger controls you, if sadness controls you, if worry and fear and anxiety controls you. So start saying it, start speaking that emotion. Okay? So number 1 yan. So number 2 is vulnerability takes courage. And again, sabi ni Brene Brown, sabi niya, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Okay? Vulnerability is not weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage. As I mentioned earlier, when you commit a mistake and you own up, okay, take accountability on that, that is courage, right? Sharing an unpopular opinion, that is courage, okay? Standing up for yourself, asking for help, that is courage, right? So it takes true strength and courage to allow yourself to be vulnerable. So part yan, if you want to be vulnerable, take that courage inside of you. Having the courage to be vulnerable will open up ourselves to the world around us, okay? When we come directly in touch with our most authentic self. And in doing so, can live a much more fulfilling and happier life. Okay? So take that courage. Okay? Be vulnerable and take that courage. Number 3 is to show up, face fear, and move forward, okay? In everything that we do, fear and criticism will always be there to greet us. That's inevitable, okay? So, parati naman yang nandyan, okay? So, it will not leave us, okay? We just have to accept it and to really acknowledge na there will always be this fear, there will always be this criticism. Okay, mamaya join us in Life Coach Corner. Let's talk about how you will manage or handle criticism. That will always be part of our life, 'di ba? Mag-post ka nga lang 'di ba? Merong magdi-dislike, 'di ba? That is possible. That can happen. You will not always be pleasing people, all people. Okay? So fear is the great restrictive force as it stops most people from stepping more than one foot outside their comfort zone, so towards realizing their true desire. So step up, okay? So just get out from your comfort zone, show up, face fear, and move forward, because showing up is already half the battle. Okay, when you decide to really stand up and face it, you are already you have already won half the battle. Okay, so sabi din dito, the more you stand up for these negative forces, ayan, yung mga fear, okay, yung mga criticism na yan, okay, the more that you stand up for these forces, the more you'll flex your courage and resilience and come out stronger out of it. Right? So you'll come out stronger if you show up and face them and move forward. You'll come up stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So that's how to be vulnerable. Number 4 is seek for progress, not perfection. For any one of you there, members of the Coach A Coaching Club who is on a vacation, okay, vacation from perfection, congratulations, right? So let's not seek for progress, not for perfection. Okay? 5 signs that you might be, okay, a perfectionist, okay? You have high standards for yourself and others. Sobrang taas, di ba? Ng standard mo, okay? To other people and to yourself. Kahit na maganda naman na, pero feeling mo, hindi pa din maganda. Di ba? Next is, you can't stop thinking about when you mess up. Di ba? So, you always think, naku, paano pagka mali? Paano pag mali yung grammar ko? Paano pag hindi maganda? Di ba? So, you always overthink. You can overthink. Okay? You cannot stop thinking about it when you mess up. Right? Anong sasabihin ng ibang tao? Di ba? What will my boss say? What will my family say? What will my friends say when I mess up? Kung hindi siya maganda. So, ang ending, what you do? You just keep it to yourself. Di ba? Next is, you are highly focused on results. Okay? That you forget yourself. So much focus on result. Number 4, you procrastinate a lot. Because nag-overthink ka nga. Di ba? Pina-perfect mo talaga. lahat ng bagay. Next is, you never celebrate your successes. Because for you, hindi pa to okay. 'Di ba? Kahit na sinabi na ng maraming tao sa iyo na, ang ganda, 'di ba? Uy, ang galing, 'di ba? But for you, it is still not enough, right? So you never celebrate your success. Remind yourself that it's okay not to be perfect because there's really not no nobody's really perfect, 'di ba? Even every product, no matter how branded they are, no matter how expensive they are, there is still something na hindi perfect. And even to us, di ba? We are not created really perfect, but we are created with flaws, okay? We are created by God with weaknesses, and that's what's make it a miracle, di ba? Because our weakness can be the strength of other people, and that complements, it can complement each other, right? So remind yourself that it's okay not to be perfect. Okay? So don't hide that emotions, don't hide those creations of yours. Huwag mong itago just because you feel that it's not perfect. Don't hide that unwritten song, yung mga songs na sinulat mo, okay? Yung mga tula na naisulat mo, yung mga things that you are keeping in your laptop, mga creations mo na yan, okay? Don't just keep it, okay? Show up. Sabi natin kanina, show up, okay? Show it to the world, di ba? Be vulnerable because there will be people. There is some, even your message, okay? Do Facebook Live if you have something to really share to the world, okay? Like what we do here, we do coaching talks, di ba? Share it to the people, share it to the world, right? Because someone out there is waiting for your message, someone out there is waiting for your craft. Okay, so seek for progress, not for perfection. Tama, Jeff, I am not perfect. And number 5, dare to be yourself. Just be yourself, okay? So don't try to be someone else, okay? Don't try to be someone whom you are not, whatever the cost it is. Just dare to be yourself. Being who you are is more important than being who others expects you to be. You will never please people. You cannot please them all, diba? So why waste your time? Why waste your energy pleasing all of them? So just be you, who you are. That is the most important thing, right? So the forces of fear, insecurity, and doubt will never go away no matter how hard you try to avoid them or no matter how hard you try to run away from them. So what you can do is to really bury all those things, yung insecurity na yan, yung fear na yan, yung self-doubt na yan, you bury them, right? Okay? Face them with courage and confidence in your authentic self. And know that you've been given the gifts necessary to overcome what is in front of you. We all have our strength. We all have our own gift. And let's maximize that. Let's focus on those strengths and let's not focus on our weakness. And let's find people that who will help us in our weakness. Sabi nga natin kanina, di ba? Vulnerability is asking for help. Okay? So Nancy, thank you for appreciating our talk this afternoon. Okay, this is not a coincidence to listen to just what I need to hear. Exactly, Nancy. So this is something for you, and you can share this to the people whom you know. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Yes, how to overcome rejection and all. You need to be vulnerable, Nancy. You just have to be yourself. Dare to be yourself. Find out who you are and be that person. That's where your soul was put on this earth to be. So find that truth, live that truth, and everything else will come. Find that truth. You are called for a special purpose in this earth, in this world. So find that truth and focus on that truth and live on that truth. The truth that God gave you and not the truth, okay, not the truth or not the lies that people gave you. Okay? So, daring greatly means the courage to be vulnerable. It means to show up and be seen, to ask for what you need, to talk about how you're feeling, to have the hard conversation. So, dare to be courageous. Don't hide your emotions. Take that courage, okay? Vulnerability really takes courage. Even if you're fearful, stand up, show up. Okay, face that fear and move forward. Seek for progress, not for perfection, and dare to be yourself. So my question for you this afternoon that I want to leave to you is, how does my fear? This question really helped me a lot. Okay? That's why I was able to really go through this series. Kaya tayo merong series ngayong February na ito. So I want to really go through yung self-mastery, and it starts with being vulnerable. This question really hit me hard. Sabi niya dito, how does my fear of being vulnerable holding me back? My greatest potential and yung greatest potential ko personally and professionally is being held back because of my fear to be vulnerable, right? So it's an ongoing journey. So we are all journeying to mastering ourselves, diba? So but the good thing is, if you take action, diba? If you take action, okay, and you choose to really move forward and to face that fear, you will see the impact, the result that it will create, right? So thank you, Nancy. So in fact, you're a blessing. You are a blessing this afternoon. So this is something that being vulnerable, right? This afternoon, me being vulnerable and seeing how Nancy, diba, reacted into this situation is really something that it means that vulnerability has its power, right? So I encourage you, okay, encourage you to really talk to the right person. As I told you earlier, be vulnerable responsibly. You cannot just really tell your kahit kanino naman, 'di ba? Yung istorya mo o yung nararamdaman mo, yung something in your life, 'di ba? You have to really talk to people, okay? Find a people that would really go through that emotion, go through with you through the process, people that you will allow to speak into your life, right? So in this journey, I have my coach, I have Master Coach A, I have my fellow community managers who are coaches as well. I have my family, I have my husband to really go through me with this journey of vulnerability, right? So the vulnerability journey is not the kind of journey that we make alone. We have to journey with someone. We need people who will let us try on new ways of being us. Okay, we will need people that will just allow us to be us without judging us. Okay, we need a hand, okay, that will pull us up when we hit the ground, and we need a community who will love us and at the same time not tolerate our imperfections or our wrong. So the vulnerability journey is something that you need to journey with someone, and you cannot make it alone. So we need support, right? So we need that support. So this afternoon, I encourage you, if you need someone to journey with you, please do get in touch with me. So let's have a conversation. Let's have a discussion today. Okay, you can message me in my Facebook account, Hasmin Miroy, and join my Facebook group, Self Innovate with Master Coach Hasmin, and let's try to continue journey together and be vulnerable, and let's just learn, seek to discover our greatness, seek to discover our passion and purpose in life. Okay, you can also message me at 0918-944-7841. So remember, you don't have to do it alone. Remember, you don't have to go through that journey alone. So think outside the box, get out, or better get out outside of that box. Okay, so to end this one, I would like to encourage you to join, okay, to avail Master Coach A One Life to Live 8,760 hours online program. So this is something that is really very powerful. I am part of this program. That's why I am able to really show up right now and see my purpose in life better, and see how I manage myself until the end of the year and achieve those goals, those visions that I have written January and until now, that I am yung inaayos-ayos pa din natin. Diba? So join us in One Life to Live, because truly, we only have one life to live, and why not, let's make it to the fullest, right? So join Master Coach A program, message Coach Rizel, or let me know if you're interested into this program. Okay, Nancy, if you're interested into this program, this is something that would really, really help you. So message me and I can assist you and join this One Life to Live 8,760 hours program of Master Coach A. Again, so as we end this today's episode, let me invite you to our coaching hub at Decaf Coffee Republic, located at Pioneer Center Compound, Pioneer Road, corner Brixton and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City, just across Bayanihan Center. Our coaching hub is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So it's only 4:50 in the afternoon. Bukas pa siya, and we have coaches there every day. All the people inside there are life coaches. So if you want to talk to them, you can visit our coaching hub from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you can also avail our coaching services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you need to do is to connect with Coach Rosel in this number, 0917-586-1661, and she'll get you connected with a life coach. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. Remember that you are God's creation, and everything that God created are beautiful, and that includes you. So thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Love, bam, boom.